Hello YouTube, Nicholas here with a little bit of a grim, unfortunate announcement that I have to pull out of the official Strongman Games, World's Strongest Man, 105 kilo, which is a big bummer. This is actually the second time I've pulled out of the show over the years. Um, wasn't too happy about it, but unfortunately my back wasn't cooperating. I hurt myself about 3 weeks out doing some training for the official Strongman Games, and it was the same back injury that kept me out of Clash on the Coast 2022. And for the sake of not making it worse like I did following Clash, I decided to kind of step away and not participate this year, which was a huge decision. And of course, I think it's gonna be the right one because I got to stay healthy. My goal is longevity in the sport, and I really want to make a big impact in the following years. So, for the most part, I got to play it safe and not risk hurting my back even more heading into the rest of the year, going into next year. So, if I could have done things differently, so you guys don't make the same mistakes as I do. I did a 12-week prep going into America's Strongest Man. I treated America's Strongest Man it kind of as a tune-up show because it's going to be my first show in over 10 months. So I really wanted to have a great plan. But I did a 12-week prep leading into it. Maybe I would have shown up that prep in hindsight. But after the actual contest, I felt terrific. Besides my erector muscle, the erector muscle that was on top of kind of like where the back injury lie on that same side, was feeling pretty tight. It was pretty sore, and I was feeling pretty gun ho after the Americas. I thought I was on top of the world. Thought I was just gonna run through official strongman games, and I started training right away. I started that Wednesday, trained Friday and also Saturday. So I think I just came back too early. I should have gave myself that normal week. I think also my body was in a different state than it was in other competitions because I just had that big, huge 23-pound cut for America. So I think my body was more recovering from the cut than it was actually from that, of course, that back injury. So I think I was just overtaxed, maybe overtrained to an extent. So I think that led to eventually kind of hurting, of course, on my left side, that erector, of course, near in the SI joint area, per se. Am I upset? Absolutely, but not as upset. I still got a major title, broken another record, but usually my mentality has been since Clash on the Coast. And maybe it's a kind of a go for broke, go big or go home type of training. But going into Clash of 2021, and of course, Clash of 2021 was my first huge win, and I was so excited once that happened. But my mentality going into it was that I didn't want to just win, but I wanted just to crush the competition. I wanted to be at least first or second in every event, especially in that final. Qualifying, I just wanted to get through it. I think that's all you really needed, and that's kind of what I saw in kind of World's Strongest Man. Just exert the kind of least amount of energy in those qualifying, and then really show up on those final days. So I wanted to kind of do something in that line. So I kind of carried that mentality of wanting to crush not only win, but crush my competition into pretty much the rest of these trainings. So it worked out for Americas. It worked out for World's Strongest Man, OSG last year. Come Clash of this past year, I knew the type of contest I did last year, so I had to even top that. So I think that led myself to overtrain and how I hurt my back the first time. And then pretty much after Americas, I think I was more composed, a little more disciplined for Americas, but coming off of Americas, not that I wasn't disciplined, but I was feeling great. So I think I got right back into training when I should have took a little bit of a break. Took at least a week or a little more off before I started ramping up the training for OSG. Between Americas and OSG, there were about 6 weeks. So I did put a plan together, and it was pretty conservative, but in the long run, I think I could have wrote a better plan. I would take a longer break maybe trained 4 or 5 days, deloaded, and then did my last 7 days leading into the competition. So that's what I would have probably done if, in hindsight, if I could do it all over again. But that mentality of domination, I think this also kind of drove me to success. So kind of my MO lately is either dominate or hurt my back. Probably the biggest, not only of course not competing, but I think the biggest kind of disappointment. I'm not gonna come this year. Of course, it's too long of a weekend to just come without competing and travel from Boston. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be there. But I'm gonna miss all my friends, the competitors. There's so many top athletes from each weight class, masters weight classes. So I'm pretty upset that I don't get to see them all this year. It's almost like more of a convention, if anything, of all the greatest athletes kind of across the world. So I'm pretty upset that I won't be able to see everybody, but I wish everybody luck. My 105 kilo friends, avenge me, of course, make me proud. And I know all you guys will do great. But my advice for OSG, it is a long contest. Of course, focus on each event. Don't be looking at the finals day. Just focus on the event that's in front of you. Make sure you're very warmed up, and know that in each of those warm-ups, there's gonna be 50 guys also warming up. So time your warm-ups correctly and try to use some other items that are not directly the implements to warm up. So you might only get like 2 or 3 times to actually warm up because there's so many people. And especially that first event, everybody's in the warm-up area. By the time the 4th event comes around, it kind of clears out. Everybody kind of really understands the schedule, but time up your warm-ups. That's super important. My future plans going forward, I think they're still undecided. I got a lot of big items, but I think that might be in my next YouTube video. Stay tuned. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, so you know when all the new videos are coming out. I do have a podcast coming out tomorrow. We'll probably talk a little more about that. I have Justin Lloyd, Dan Hughes, Frank Provenzano, and Mr. Mike O'Connor coming on. So I'm speaking to them, and those are going to be 4 guys that are going to be fighting for the title. So I'm pretty excited how that pans out. So check out that. I'll have a video probably talking about my future plans, but I'll miss all you guys. And until next time, stay strong.